This is a story of one man's life journey, Darsell Karrington, and the lessons he encountered and learned along the way. It speaks to all of our life journeys, what is important for us to heal and be happy, and be positive contributors to our human community, to Mother Earth and all sentient beings inhabiting her. Darsell tells us how he became aware of what he needed to do to heal and turn his life around, the mentors and teachers and extraordinary experiences that help guide him back to himself. For this is where it must begin for all of us, loving and trusting ourselves as the divine beings we truly are.
By the time I hit 19, 20, in and around that age, I think it's very close to 20. By the time I hit that age, the family doctor called me in because I'd been complaining about a lot of different other issues that I had. And they'd sent me to every specialist they could imagine, every specialist. So the family doctor called me in and asked me, sat me down and he says, look, we've done all the exploration we can virtually this way. There's only one other alternative here. We have to go in and do exploratory surgery. I said, and that means? Well, we have to go in and see if there's a problem. I said, so you can't find the problem now, but you're just going to open me up and start looking as if you'll physically be able to see what's causing the problem? Well, yeah, that's kind of what we're going to have to do. I said, I don't think so. He said, well, look, he says, it's your choice. He said, because as far as we can tell, at the rate of decline you're going through, you got less than a year to live. So, it's either this or the alternative doesn't look so great. And I said, well, I choose to not believe you. And I choose to believe that I'll survive this. And he said, well, what gives you the right to, kind of countermand what I've just told you? I'm telling you that this is it, and you're telling me you don't buy it, and you're not educated, you don't know, you're not a doctor. I said, yeah, but I'm going to have to trust. I said, I can't accept what you just told me, because if I do, then I've just accepted the death sentence, so I can't do this. So I walked away, and that was the beginning of going to every alternative approach I could find. And I did. I experimented. It took me 10 years to get my health back. But I found it all had to do with the way I was eating, and I learned a lot about health. I turned into a vegetarian, took up yoga breathing in the morning, stopped everything to do with alcohol consumption. It's made me a bit stubborn because without my stubbornness, I caved in and just accepted defeat. But I took a stubborn route on that. I don't know, self-determination, you call it whatever, but I think it was just stubborn. I just said, no, I don't buy it, I'm going all it. And it created that kind of mechanism in my life. When people would tell me, you can't do that, I'd say, that's your opinion, not mine, I don't buy it, way to go. It's just, there's an internal knowing that this is something you need to do. This is a direction you need to head. And there's whatever is at the end of that rainbow is something you need to experience, something you need to know that will help you on your journey. And without all that language around it, because I just accept it immediately, right here, I just do it. And it's the way I've virtually done everything as a result of that learning to say no in the face of, no, I don't accept this fate that I only have 1 year to live. One day we were talking about a sweat lodge that was coming up, and I heard the word sweat lodge, and I even discounted the fact that it was going to be in March, which meant it's going to be pretty cold, and I just said, I'm going. I have to go. And got out there, beautiful. It was out in the middle of nowhere in Ghost River. But I think the most significant was the morning of the last day on the 21st of March, where they say you have those life-changing experiences, those things that never leave you. And there were another row in front of us, and when we got in there, I was starting to get a little, not claustrophobic really, but it was like, wow, I don't know if I can handle all this. And you had to rub up against somebody because there wasn't enough space that you were going to lie down or do anything else. Wherever you were is where you were going to be. And the first round started, they closed, and I was getting a little squeamish, and then it opens, and People were stepping out, but I never walked out. And I don't know why I didn't, but I just stayed there. As I said, if I get out, I probably won't come back in. So, stayed in. Second round, stayed in. All doors open. Third round, I went again. Fourth round, fifth, I don't know how many rounds it was, but all of a sudden, there was this, it was as if there was a veil, and these two green translucent lights are sitting right here, and all of a sudden everything went dark behind it. So now the veil, everything behind the veil goes dark. And it was as if they started morphing into a pair of eyes. And all of a sudden, I guess I must have asked a question in my head. And it was around my you know, we all have issues, right? And this anger, you know, internal anger. Why this angst? Why this anger? Why this way of being in the world? And all of a sudden, the eyes went to jagged. It's as if they started now looking as if they're really jagged and they're turning this way. And all of a sudden, this mouth opened. So now, where it appears out of nowhere, and it opens, and the same greenish color coming out of this mouth is kind of, and like I said, it's almost like if you look at the smoke that they use dry ice to do on a stage. That's what it almost like, but the same color is in the mouth. And it just stared at me and and really gave me an insight into where my anger was coming from. And then the minute I got it, the mouth closed, the eyes went back to soft, and everything just went, just disappeared. Sweat was over. They opened, and I could see the light, but I can't really move. And I'm not speaking, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, everybody's leaving and I don't know where to go. And then it's like, well, I gotta get out, I need to leave. You can't stay here, but there's nowhere to go. So I finally crawled out, and I'm standing in, I think Sequoia described about -35, -40, in bare feet, and I feel nothing, no cold. I don't feel the cold. Somebody put a blanket around me, because I'm just standing in shorts, so a blanket around me. And I walked over to Sequoia, and I don't know why, I just walked over to him, and I kind of just put my arms around him and gave him a hug. And I looked up at him, and he said to me, he said, "You're not the same man that went in there, are you?" And I said, from that moment of walking out of that sweat, that's when Sequoia and I became friends. It was like that moment. That was that connection that I was told, I think you two need to meet. And it was from that moment on, when I walked out of there, that we've been connected ever since. I started talking to my daughter while she was pregnant about forming a corporation for the purposes of cleaning up the environment, and that whatever we did with the environment, however we were going to do that, I said, I have no clue right now. I said, but we'll find it. But it has to have strong humanitarian intentions, because everything we do, we have to consider that everybody's connected to us, and that was one of the greatest lessons learned at that sweat. It will be a technology-driven organization for the purpose of supporting the environment and helping the environment, so that ultimately humanity will benefit from it. And I said, so this is who we are, but this is the way we'll present it to the world, so at least the business world will understand it. So that's how it came to be. I was lying in bed, and I woke up, and this is like they talk, is it Lucid Dream? I'm not quite sure. You're awake, but you're asleep. You're totally cognizant of everything around you. And it's supposed to be pitch black outside, but it's as if somebody turned on a 10,000 watt bulb, and it's a neon sign lit up. Absolutely lit up. And I'm watching what was to become this technology, the core of this technology, in a three-dimensional object, sitting up in bed, asleep. You understand? Because there's nobody else, and I know my eyes are awake. I know my eyes are open, because I can actually see the room I'm in. It's my bedroom, but I can't see anything except the image that's in front of me that is moving in a three-dimensional, it's like a computer-aided design movement, showing me every dimension of what this thing looks like, and how it's to appear, and how it's to be done. And I woke up in the morning and drew it, and sat down with the master machinist, an engineer, who was to become our head of R&D, and I started drawing it, and then they would take it and turn it into what I had seen. So exactly what it was drawn, they built everything around it to house it. The minute it was lit, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. If you actually watch it, what you watch is there's a vortex that is spinning at such a rate that, and it goes through harmonic resonances. Right? So it has harmonic resonance. And as you hear the first one form, it's at the end of the burn chamber. And that first one forms, you can actually see it's almost like a sideways, not a full mushroom cloud, but forms a vortex at the end with a narrowing beam, but it's all blue fuel, right? Narrowing beam. And as it forms that, you have to wear earplugs because it forms noise, but it's at a, one person described it as a high C. Then when it goes to harmonic number 2, it completely disappears and gets pulled in, gets sucked right into the combustion tube. And as the flame collapses in the combustion tube, it hits the second harmonic and it drops, I don't know how many octaves of C. It goes from and then when it hits the third harmonic, it just has that depth of a harmonic that hits. So that's the third harmonic it can hit. But the weird part is the further it collapses, the stronger the projection of heat in the opposite direction. So you think that the stronger you see, the longer you see this flame pattern, that would cause this thrust. Long flame like an aerosol can, light aerosol. You'd think that would, but actually, the minute it goes past the first harmonic, so the first harmonic is really nothing other than its parents being set up. And when that field collapses and goes to the sides, by the time it's finished, it's less than 8 inches long. Completely, combustion takes place in 8 inches, which is almost like unheard of. All combustion takes place in 8 inches. There's no when it escapes the combustion chamber, there are no more combusting fuels at all. It's already happened. So it's not still expanding gases, it's all complete. And the smaller, and when we hit the third harmonic, the thrust on it from 40 feet will make me feel like we're sitting in the sun. We started really small. The first one was about 125,000 BTU, and it was the one that was the start of, okay, does this work? We took it from 125 to 250,000 BTU. It scaled perfectly. Let's make it 4 times this size. So we went from 125 to 250,000 BTU. We expanded 4 times, quadruple, to 1 million BTU. And we said if it'll scale, then I think we've got something that'll just keep on going. But it's still an assumption, but we believe that at that point, if we can keep doing that, then it should be firstly scalable. We lit that thing, and the first time, because at 250,000 you can still hear that harmonic. It's high piercing. Because the smaller it is, the more high piercing the sound. But at 1 million BTU, when they lit it and it snapped to attention, I jumped backwards 5 feet because I said nobody was ever allowed to light it if I wasn't there. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to hear this thing. It's like a favorite toy, kid's favorite toy. After we developed it, we started the research into combustion and how it works. Now, why was that an advantage? Because all the engineers told us, what you're trying to do can't be done. Can't be done. People have tried it already. It doesn't work. So now, if you hire one of the engineers that's already telling you it doesn't work, it can't work, there's no way you're going to pull this one off, well, the only thing they're going to do is prove themselves right and prove you wrong, right? So we wouldn't do it. The only thing that I didn't hire, and will in the future now. Now that it's developed, we have all the confidence now, so we won't get pushed away from our own situation. But I wouldn't hire an engineer in the company. I only hired people that had belief. I believe that that's what we did. We're too naive, stubborn, dumb, whatever, to believe that it couldn't be done, so therefore we did it. And now we bring gladly, we open arms with the engineers, come on in, and now they're going, wow, how did you do it? Everybody else has tried, they couldn't do it, how did you do it? I said, I kept you away from it till now. Now it works, now you can come on in and play.